From the beautiful city of Los Angeles, California, we bring you the Gimme Three podcast.
Welcome back, cinephiles, cinema lovers, movie appreciators, to the Gimme Three podcast, a series for cinephiles. This is the show where we pick 3 movies connected by one theme. And before we get started, please take this as your official spoiler alert, because we're diving in deep. I'm your co-host, Bella F. Stratus, and I'm joined today by my terrific co-host, Nicholas Ibarra. Nick, how are you doing today? How's this week treating you?
It's good. It's good. It's busy as always, but happy to be here. Happy to be talking about some fantastic films.
Yes, we're closing out the month with Film Noir. It's Noir November, baby. So we've had some intense rain in Los Angeles this past week. I don't know.
Yes.
To the point of being woken up at night by thunder, booming thunderstorms, moody dark clouds, wet trench coats and layers. It feels very fitting to get into the dark, shadowy, smoky world of noir this week. So
yeah, very apt.
Exactly. Before diving into this, this episode kind of made me realize I've probably seen tons of bits and pieces of these iconic film noirs growing up with Turner Classic Movies on the TV at all times. But this episode did make me realize just how much I've kind of been sleeping on noir. Like, not only are these fantastic films, but film noir in general is just such a fascinating style or genre and has such a fascinating history. The big debate, actually, is film noir a genre or a style? For me, I don't really know if I can go either way on this one. I'm kind of like, can it be both? But I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on the big debate here.
I think the debate is stupid. Not because I believe strongly either side, but I just I don't think I think it minimizes the films in general.
Yeah.
For those of our listeners who don't really know what film noir is, it translates to film black or black film because these films were shot in black and white. They are very dark, not only thematically, but very visually very dark as well. It's important to note, I suppose, like why and where they came at it. Like, what was film noir born out of? And it was really born out of the 2 great world wars, and audiences being open to films depicting how fucked up and terrible the world can be, because I think people were at this point aware of it.
Yeah.
They didn't need everything sugar-coated anymore.
The veil or kind of safety net that people had woven for themselves was definitely ripped off at this point. Any kind of veil or safety net, I mean, was just like non-existent at this point in time.
And with the industry, it had just implemented the motion picture production code, the Hays Code, this like self-imposed censorship. And we've talked about pre-code films on the podcast before, but these noir films were they created ways to kind of skirt the code and like get down in the mud. So obviously there's plenty of calling cards for film noir style things that are kind of ingrained into what a film noir film is, protagonist who's desperate. You got the femme fatale, you've got the dark lighting, the dark shadows, the blinds, going through as shadows, twist endings, sexy people doing terrible things. These are all calling cards. I don't know if I would call a calling card. A calling card doesn't really make up a genre, in my opinion. Structure can make up a genre, but film noirs don't really abide by a uniform structure. Or a structure that, say, like a rom-com does. Like most of them have twists, but they deliver the twist at different times, depending on the discretion of the script or the filmmakers. Mm-hmm. So when I think of film noir, I think of it more as an era. Like it's an era and a style, I guess. But as I said, just an answer to both the industry and the country and the place that both of those things were at that time. However, it's much easier to just call it a genre. I'll probably call it a genre throughout this episode a couple times because it's like it's easier to say, oh, like in this genre you do this, in this genre. So it's just, simple to call it a genre, but I think calling it a genre dumbs it down.
I completely agree, because it's a bit more complicated than, like, it's not. I mean, it is black and white, but it's not black and white in that sense. Like,
yeah, right.
I completely agree with everything you said, and it makes, it made looking back, it makes so much sense that no one was really in the mood for comedies or musicals or Disney movies at this. Well, actually, Disney did release Dumbo and Bambi at the same time as these films we're talking about today. So arguably the sad, even Disney had gone dark. But then, this film noir was, there's inspiration there in the sense of, like, in the style with, German expressionist lighting, the low lighting, high contrast. But then there's also the history of, increased electricity rates after the war. And these B movies a lot of them were B movies, most of them. So they didn't have, like, access to these big Hollywood lights, like some of the other maybe bigger studios. And that also, explains why they're so dark. So actually, I found this great quote from actor Robert Mitchum, and he said, "Hell, we didn't know what film noir was in those days. We were just making movies. Cary Grant and all the big stars at RKO got all the lights. We lit our sets with cigarette butts." Yeah. So I thought that kind of perfectly describes this genre or style, whatever you want to call it. This era, as you said.
And Robert Mitchum, besides Humphrey Bogart, probably the actor most associated with film noir. Mm-hmm. We won't be talking about one of his films today, but he's Mr. Noir. And before these kind of films started showing up on the surface, he was kind of like, and people were like, that Robert Mitchum, he's not really a good actor. He's too lackadaisical. He doesn't really like emote. It's like, well, no, that was his style, and his style ended up working perfectly for film noir because he's just kind of like smooth talking. Yeah, here's the deal. See, it's like, all right, well, that works for this. May not work for some giant production, but sure as hell works for these kind of films.
Well, today we're diving into 3 peak noir films spanning from 1941 to 1951. And, there's a lot to talk about. So without further ado, Nick, do you want to take us away with our first film of the day?
The first film is The Maltese Falcon from 1941, written and directed by John Huston in his directorial debut. Not only was this the start of Huston's career as a director, it is almost universally acknowledged as the first film noir. And it starts how so many film noir movies would start for years after, and how basically every parody or homage to film noir would start with a private investigator sitting in his office and this beautiful, mysterious prospective client with her bold lips and her white skin and her glossy eyes. She strolls into his office. In this trend-setting instance, the PI is Sam Spade, who's played by Humphrey Bogart, one of the most famous film characters of all time. Smooth-talking, wise-cracking, no-nonsense, tough guy who's got more tricks up his sleeve than a magician. And the dame is Ruth Wonderly, or is she, played by Mary Astor. So this Wonderly character asks Sam Spade and his partner, Miles Archer, to go out and look for her sister, who was brought to San Francisco from New York City by a really bad man, this Floyd Thursby. So they're on the case, of course, after she pays him. And Archer goes out to tail the situation. That's Sam Spade's partner. He goes out, tail the situation. And when he does, blammo. He's swimming with the fishes, you see. He's shot dead. Not only that, it's not long before Thursby. That cat's dead also. Sam Spade, being Archer's partner, of course, is starting to get questioned about the murder, starting to get perhaps accused of the murder. And the questions get even more valid as we learn throughout the film that Spade was having an affair with Archer's wife. Sam Spade won't go down like this. He questions this dame that strolled into his office, and when he does, she basically admits that everything that she said was a lie.
Yeah.
Her name isn't Ruth Wonderly at all. It's Bridget O'Shaughnessy. Thursby was actually her partner. The plot gets thick and confusing. Thicker and more confusing still when, in addition to the coppers that are after him, two more interesting characters enter Sam Spade's life. We've got Cairo, who's played by Peter Lorre, another one of the all-time famous characters who's been homaged and parodied about a bajillion times. And Casper Gutman, who is also known as the Fat Man, played by Sidney Hughes Greenstreet. And when I say fat man, this motherfucker is fat. He is nearly 400 pounds of fat. So all these players, Miss Shaughnessy included, reveal that the epicenter of these murders and the cause for all this confusing mess is credited to the search for an artifact from 1500 Spain, the Maltese Falcon, which is believed to contain the rarest jewels in the entire world. Worth a fortune, they say. Gutman's after it. Cairo's after it. Miss Shaughnessy's after it. And now, to save his neck, and perhaps just out of sheer curiosity, Sam Spade is after it as well. The plot unfolds in a web of twists and turns and wild exposition that'll make your head spin. And I'm not going to get into all of it because it would probably take longer for me to describe it all than to just watch the film itself. But ultimately, what you're left with is a group of individuals driven by greed, consumed by lies, and hypnotized by the things that dreams are made of. Or so they think. The Maltese Falcon. Bella, what'd you think of the Maltese Falcon? The start of the film noirs.
The start of the film noirs. Yeah, I kind of watched backwards. I should have watched this one first. Just because this one feels so much more dialogue heavy than the others. Like it is a lot of just one location, people coming in and out, and just, I mean, the dialogue is fantastic. You're just completely locked in, but also at times I did get a little bit lost because there's so many twists and turns,
right,
and so much deception as well. Like it gets to a point where you're just like, I don't trust anyone.
Yeah,
here.
You can't believe anything anybody's saying.
Well, you ready to make the first payment and take the Falcon off my hands?
Well, sir, as to that.
10,000. We were talking about a lot more money than this.
Yes, sir, we were. But this is genuine coin of the realm. The dollar of this, you can buy $10 of talk. And there are more of us to be taken care of now.
Well, that may be, but I've got the Falcon.
I shouldn't think it would be necessary to remind you, Mr. Spade, that you may have the Falcon. But we certainly have you.
Yeah, well, I'm trying not to let that worry me. We'll get back to the money later on. There's something else to be discussed first. We've got to have a fall guy. The police have got to have a victim. Somebody they can pin those 3 murders on.
3? But it is only 2, because Thursby certainly killed your partner.
All right, only 2 then. What difference does it make? The point is, we've got to give the police...
Come, Mr. Spade. You can't expect us to believe at this late date that you're the least bit afraid of the police, or that you're not quite able to handle...
I'm in this up to my neck, Gutman. I've got to find somebody, a victim, when the time comes. If I don't, I'll be it. Let's give him the gunsel. He actually did shoot Thursby and Jacoby, didn't he? Anyways, made to order for the part. Look at him. Let's give him to them.
By gad, so you are a character, that you are. There's never any telling what you'll say or do next, except that it's bound to be something astonishing.
Why, it's our best bet. With him in their hands, the police
But, my dear man, can't you see that if I even for a moment thought of doing such a thing, that's ridiculous. I feel towards Wilma here just exactly as if he were my own son. Really, I do. But if I even for a moment thought of doing what you propose, what in the world would keep Wilma from telling the police every last detail about the Falcon and all?
Let him talk his head off. I'll guarantee you nobody will do anything about it.
Well, what do you think of this, Wilma? Mighty funny, eh? Mighty funny.
Yeah, Sam Spade really became the archetype for this type of film, this protagonist, a desperate man, murky moral compass, desperate to save his neck, tangled in murder and crime. You've seen Bugs Bunny do them. You've seen comedy routines do them. You've seen about a million student films do Sam Spade. I believe Indiana Jones is inspired by Sam Spade.
Oh, I could see that.
Bogart developed this rough and tumble anti-hero, and so much of why this film works, as you mentioned, there's 95% dialogue, this film.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The reason this film works is because of Humphrey Bogart's performance and how cool he is and how sharp he is and how well he delivers that dialogue, those jabbing, biting lines. But what Humphrey Bogart does so expertly, not just in this film, but in so many of his films, is he plays this tough guy, this guy who lets everything just roll off his back. Even when his partner gets killed, he kind of doesn't really react to it. Everything just rolls off his back for the majority of scenes he's in. But he always gives you, Humphrey Bogart, one scene, maybe two scenes where you see him feel something. He doesn't give you these big emotional breakdowns or something where he's crying, but it's just it's all in his eyes and it's all in his face. And he'll just show you for an instance, for just a brief moment, he will show you the pain that is buried underneath his character in these quick flashes. And that is extremely difficult to do. But it is what has made him, one of the most infamous, iconic American actors to ever grace a screen.
Yeah, he is mesmerizing. And him and Mary Astor together, that's just fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely. They got some wild, contentious chemistry. They were fucking each other also while they were making this film, so that might have something to do with it.
That makes sense. It's so funny to watch these films that are so sexy and dark, but because of the Hays Code, they couldn't. We don't see the things that we see in maybe neo-noirs these days. But I love this trope of once you know that they've had sex, it's just game over for the man. It's sorry, dude, you're in it now. And also I love that it's they have sex and then they're immediately darling, my dear, I love you. It's just somehow so much time has passed in terms of their feelings from that one night. It's just one of those things that is funny because when you think about it, it's hilarious, but it just works so well in these movies. You just go with it.
Yeah. In the intro, I talked about kind of how film noir was a product of the World Wars. This film was made during World War II. Thematically, whether it's intentional or not, you can see that and feel that, because what you've got here is what starts out as a very local case, San Francisco based, protect and serve. My sister may be in danger, but the deeper and deeper we go to this case, it becomes global. And you got these centuries long issues, centuries long lies, centuries long greed from all over the world that has landed on this man's doorstep. And it's okay, well, if that is not a world war, then wow. I don't know what it is. And right after this film came out, I think the United States entered officially into World War II. So,
wow.
You're a close-mouthed man.
I like to talk.
Better and better. I distrust a close-mouthed man. He generally picks the wrong time to talk and says the wrong things. Talking something you can't do judiciously unless you keep in practice. Now, sir, we'll talk if you like. I tell you right out, I'm a man who likes talking to a man who likes to talk.
Swell. Will we talk about the blackbird?
You're the man for me, sir. No beating about the bush, right to the point. Let's talk about the blackbird, by all means. Professor, answer me a question. Are you here as Miss O'Shaughnessy's representative?
Well, there's nothing certain either way. It depends.
Depends on? Maybe it depends on Joel Cairo.
Maybe.
The question is then which you represent. It'll be one or the other.
I didn't say so.
Who else is it?
There's me.
That's wonderful, sir, wonderful. I do like a man who tells you right after he's looking out for himself. Don't we all? I don't trust a man who says he's not.
Uh-huh. Now let's talk about the blackbird.
Let's. Mr. Spade, have you any conception of how much money can be got for that blackbird?
No.
Well, sir, if I told you half, you'd call me a liar.
No, not even if I thought so. But you tell me what it is, and I'll figure out the profit.
You mean you don't know what the bird is?
Oh, I know what it's supposed to look like. And I know the value in human life you people put on it.
She didn't tell you what it is? Cairo didn't either?
He offered me $10,000 for it.
$10,000, mind you, not even pounds. Do they know what that bird is, sir? What is your impression?
Well, there's not very much to go by. Cairo didn't say he did, and he didn't say he didn't. She said she didn't, but I took it for granted she was lying.
Not an injudicious thing to do. If they don't know, I'm the only one in the whole wide, sweet world who does.
Swell. When you told me, that'll make two of us.
Mathematically correct, sir. But I don't know for certain that I'm going to tell you.
Oh, don't be foolish. You know what it is. I know where it is. That's why I'm here.
Well, sir, where is it? You see, I must tell you what I know. But you won't tell me what you know. It's hardly equitable, sir. No. I don't think we can do business along those lines.
I'll think again and think fast. I told that gunsel of yours you'd have to talk to me before you're through. I'm telling you now, you'll talk to me today or you're through. What are you wasting my time for? I can get along without you. And another thing, keep that gunsel out of my way while you're making up your mind. I'll kill him if you don't. I'll kill him.
Well, sir, I must say you have a most violent temper.
Think it over. You got till 5 o'clock.
I love the framing in this film. The way it's shot, the fact that this all goes down. I actually hadn't thought too deeply about the fact that this all goes down in one setting. And to your point, it's really interesting the way the whole world is brought into just one single room with all these different characters. And it kind of has, it kind of feels like a play at times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the cinematography is so well executed that it transforms it. You know, you get to like, it's okay. The cinematography plus Humphrey Bogart's performance in tandem together work to make this really, really immersive experience, and like, you know, goes beyond blocking and staging to, you know, the psychology of all these characters. Like Humphrey Bogart has this kind of cool facade, and he's just trying to like dodge all the deception and lies. But as you said, you can see when the blows do hit. And then Mary Astor as Bridget O'Shaughnessy, you can see she's also got a great kind of cool facade up until the moment that she cracks.
Right.
Which is so devastating. And then you have like Casper Gutman, the big guy. And I was
the fat man. Let's call it what it is.
I loved his performance. I love how he's like this big scary dude, but in the end, everyone cracks in the end of this, which is really fun to see these big manly men break down in tears over their greed.
Yeah.
And by the end, you're just kind of disgusted. I mean, you're kind of disgusted with them in the first place, but even more so by the end, you're just like, get these crying babies off my screen. Like Peter Lorre, when Caro breaks down in tears and he's just like, oh my, what are we gonna do? I was dying. I was like, this is great. This is peak cinema.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Mm.
Yeah, the whole cast is fantastic. And like you said, they do so much with the blocking to kind of create these layers. It lets you see so many of the characters' reactions and stuff. The more you watch it, you're able to like pinpoint some of the reactions to certain pieces of information or certain developments of the story, because the way they are framed and blocked, you get to see, Sam Spade in the foreground, and then in middle focus you have the Fat Man, and the deep focus you have Cairo. They're all kind of telling their own little stories and stuff internally as the external stories being told also. A lost art, that blocking and just like letting scenes play out in a single frame.
Yeah, like that scene when Bridget and Cairo. Thank you. Bridget and Cairo. Bridget and Cairo and Spade are in his apartment, I guess, and the police come, those two bumbling idiots. I love that the camera's like on them in the room, and then it kind of pans to the door, and we have that whole exchange where he's like, "You're not gonna come in here. Fuck no." And then they hear the tussle with Cairo and Bridget, and he's like, "I guess you are coming in here."
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, he's got so many zingers, man. So many zingers. I have here 3 pieces of trivia.
Amazing.
For the Maltese Falcon.
I want to play a game.
So they made 8 Maltese Falcons for this movie. 2 lead and 6 plaster ones. And the lead Falcons weighed about 50 pounds each. And Lee Patrick accidentally dropped one of those Falcons on Humphrey Bogart's foot during shooting. It's on display in the movie museum at Warner Brothers Studios, and the tail feathers are visibly dented from when it was dropped. And 3 of the Falcon statuettes that were made for the production, allegedly, still exist and are conservatively valued at over $1 million each, which makes them some of the most valuable film props ever made.
My God.
Each, now, of course, not counting inflation, is worth about 3 times what the film cost to make.
That's insane.
One of which I believe is owned by Leonardo DiCaprio. Piece of trivia number 2. So this is based off a book. Maltese Falcon, based off a book. And actually, they'd already made a Maltese Falcon movie. A couple of them. This was the 3rd Maltese Falcon film made within like a decade.
Oh, wow.
So it's the Moana of the 30s, 40s. God almighty. You watch that Moana trailer and you're just like, here's everything that is wrong with the fucking film industry and perhaps the United States of America in 1 minute. Mother of Christ. Anyways. Tangent. That got on a tangent there. What were we talking about? The Maltese Falcon. Okay.
Not Moana.
So in the book, Sam Spade, no resemblance to Humphrey Bogart. There is no resemblance. They describe him in the book as over 6 feet tall, has a V-shaped chin and mouth, a hooked nose, and blonde hair. In the book, he's referred to by the author as looking like a blonde Satan.
Oh. I don't like that.
Yeah. But that is not Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart's a little more rough around the edges. All right, now we get into the juicy shit. Piece of trivia number 3. Mary Astor. Her notoriety off screen was instrumental in her casting because she had been in so many scandals concerning affairs that she had been involved in during her marriage. When she first came to Hollywood, she had an affair with the much older John Barrymore. Her husband had been, quote unquote, killed in a plane crash. She had been married multiple times, which was considered very scandalous behavior in those days. She was a boozer, an alcoholic. During a very bitter custody hearing, a diary that she had kept recounting her various sexual exploits was made public.
Oh, damn.
Her former secretary stole her diary and gave it to her soon-to-be former husband, Franklin Thorpe, whose attorney leaked copies of cherry-picked passages to the press.
That's terrible.
And the salacious details were splashed across the front pages of most newspapers in the country for the duration of that trial. And so John Huston was like, "You are the woman for this picture." And Mary Astor was like, "I agree."
She said, "I'll do it."
I will do it. The role I was born to play.
Mm-hmm.
And she's right.
Temptress.
There you have it. 3 pieces of trivia for the Maltese Falcon.
I love it. That was great.
The Maltese Falcon is available on demand, but you can also check it out at your local video stores if you want. You could check it out at Vidiots, Cinephile Video, Videotech if you live in the greater Los Angeles area. I'm sure there's some video stores in New York, Chicago, some other big cities across this country. So check it out. Support your local video stores and check out the Maltese Falcon. Perfect for this time. This is Noir is, I think the reason why they made the Noir November, not just for the alliteration, is because for some people, several people, I think, don't like the immediate jump into Christmas holiday time, Christmas spirit right after Halloween. There's that gap where some people are like, "Oh, you can't put up Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving's over." So cinephiles are kind of like lost. They're like, well, I'm not ready for Christmas movies, but it's time for the Halloween horror movies to be done. Where do we go? Noir is kind of the perfect bridge.
Yeah.
Still kind of dark, still moody, as you talked about, perfect for fall weather, perhaps. It gets darker earlier.
Yeah, exactly. It feels right,
Feels right. It's the right time.
Sitting alone in the apartment, all the lights off at 4 p.m. in pitch darkness, smoking cigs.
Yeah.
That's how everyone watches Noir, right?
I've been smoking so many cigs in our new place. Sonia just left me. All right. The next piece of work, and this is a piece of work, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Double Indemnity from 1944, one of my all-time favorites. Directed by the great Billy Wilder, written by Wilder and Raymond Chandler, and it's starring Fred MacMurray, Barbara Stanwyck, and Edward G. Robinson. The film starts with Walter Neff. That's Fred MacMurray. He's arriving to his office late at night. He gets out and he's like, "Man, that guy's walking funny." Well, you'd be walking funny if you were shot. Clinging to life. This guy's an insurance man and he's bleeding like a stuck pig. And you're just like, "My God, how's this insurance man bleeding like a stuck pig?" He crawls his way into his boss's office and records into a dictaphone a confession for his claims manager boss, Barton Keyes. And through Neff's confession, we are taken back to the origin of this story when Neff went to the Diedrichson home on a routine call about automobile insurance. But Mr. Diedrichson was not home. His wife was, Mrs. Phyllis Diedrichson, played by Barbara Stanwyck, standing there in a nothing but a towel after sunbathing. My Lord. Stanwyck in this film has quite possibly one of the worst wigs in the history of cinema, but is still fine as hell. Mother of fuck.
Yeah, that wig. I think it's so funny how much it's talked about. in
Yeah.
this movie. It's like, oh yeah, Double Indemnity, but that goddamn wig.
So Phyllis is like, yeah, automobile insurance. I don't really care about that. Talk to me about life insurance, because I want to get life insurance for my husband since he has a risky job. But she inquires if it might be possible for her to get life insurance for him without her husband knowing about it. Well, Neff is no idiot. He's like, I know a scam when I see one, for God's sakes. You want your husband dead, and you want me to be the sucker. Well, beans to that. No thanks, dame, he says, and he takes off after throwing her some mighty fine quips. But Walter Neff goes on about his day, he goes on about his night, but he can't stop thinking about that Phyllis and those legs and that anklet. And my God. And anyways, he also can't stop thinking about how he would cheat the game, how he would game the system if he were to make this plot of hers work. Could he pull it off? If anyone could pull it off, perhaps it's him. So Neff goes back to Mrs. Diedrichson, and after some flirtation and some cat and mouse foolery, the two devise of an evil plan to get her husband, A, to sign off on the insurance claim without knowing it, B, to get him dead, and C, to frame it with the perfect cover-up. And they do just that by having Walter Neff himself play Mr. Diedrichson, showing up on a train as Diedrichson, and then disappear off said train. They leave the already dead husband on the train tracks, and the dummy cops would be none the wiser. Phyllis and Walter would collect the dough, double indemnity dough, because life insurance gets doubled in the case of a rare freak accident. That's where the title of the film comes from, And the plan goes off without a hitch, and the cops are none the wiser. But somebody is the wiser. Walter's boss and mentor, Barton Keyes. Keyes knows something fishy's up with this story, and he's going to get to the bottom of it. He just can't quite pinpoint what's wrong with it.
What's on your mind?
That broken leg. The guy had a broken leg.
What are you talking about?
Talking about Diedrichson. He had accident insurance, didn't he?
Yeah.
Then he broke his leg, didn't he?
So what?
And he didn't put in a claim. Why didn't he put in a claim? Why?
What are you driving at?
Walter, I had dinner 2 hours ago. And he's stuck halfway.
Little man of yours is acting up again, eh?
There's something wrong with the Diedrichson case.
Why, because he didn't file a claim? Maybe he just didn't have time.
Maybe he just didn't know that he was insured. No, that couldn't be it. You delivered the policy to him personally, didn't you?
Yeah.
You got his check.
Sure I did.
Got any bicarbonate of soda?
No, I haven't.
Walter, I've been living with this little man for 26 years. He's never failed me yet. There's got to be something wrong.
Well, maybe Norton was right. Maybe it was suicide.
No, not suicide. But not an accident either.
What else?
Now look, Walter. A guy takes out an accident policy that's worth $100,000 if he's killed on the train. Then 2 weeks later, he is killed on the train. And not in a train accident, mind you, but falling off some silly observation car. You know what the mathematical probability of that is? 1 out of, I don't know how many billions. And after that, the broken leg. No, it just can't be the way it looks. Something has been worked on us.
Such as what? Murder?
Don't you have any peppermint or something?
Oh, sorry. Want a little soda water?
No.
Who do you suspect?
Well, maybe I like to make things easy for myself, but I always tend to suspect the beneficiary.
You mean the wife?
Yeah, that wide-eyed dame that just didn't know anything about anything.
Oh, you're crazy, Key. She wasn't even on the train.
I know she wasn't, Walter. I don't claim to know how it was worked or who worked it, but all I know is that it was worked. I've got to get to a drugstore. This thing feels like a hunk of concrete inside me. Good night, Walter.
Good night, Keys.
See you at the office in the morning.
Yeah.
So Walter and Phyllis, they got to kind of go into hiding. They got to play it cool. They got to play it straight. They can't see each other. They can't get caught while the person looking for them is sitting right across the desk. from Neff himself. And as tensions rise and paranoia spikes, Walter Neff discovers that his beloved Phyllis may not be so beloved at all. She may just be a fucking bitch. It may be that she was plotting the whole thing the entire time. How did the old Mrs. Diedrichson perish? Did Phyllis have something to do with that? Well, according to his daughter, she did. Was she using Neff the entire time just for his insurance policy? The confrontation from Neff to Phyllis is as ugly as you'd imagine. Bang. Phyllis shoots Neff. Bang, bang. Neff shoots Phyllis. And it's then, and only then, after her, being shot and shooting a woman that he apparently loved.
Quote unquote love.
That he's like, God damn, I think I've been doing a bad thing here. And it's then he realizes just how rotten he's gotten. And he won't spend his last moments on Earth as a lying sack. So he opts for one more good deed and perhaps a confession, as he's bleeding out. He's no hero, but at least he's a man. Double Indemnity. What do you think of this one there, Bella?
Oh, I loved this movie. This is like peak cynicism.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more rotten than these two characters. Yep. And I also just absolutely, obviously dialogue, fantastic, off the charts.
Yep.
I love the way that this film dances circles around the Hays Code. It's got that witty, riddly, and really quite funny quick quips and dialogue that I think perfectly channeled all the dark details of, because I think the book that it's based on was really quite dark. Obviously it makes sense, but I think it really channels all those dark details and the seduction, the brutality, the blatant immorality. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I'm also a sucker for Billy Wilder. I love his style, and the ending is revealed in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And that kind of journey and the voiceover narration. And, we see him do that again in another film later on that I love, Sunset Boulevard.
Right.
And so that from the get-go, I was like, let's go. This is my kind of movie. This is my kind of film.
Yeah. When I first saw this film and I saw Fred McMurray do that thing with the matches, and he snaps his finger, he takes the match head and snaps his fingers, and that's what strikes the match. I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I still think it's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. It is so badass. And what's so brilliant about this movie is to make something that's just man, look at that guy. That guy is cool as shit. Mm-hmm. And he's always doing that for his boss, Keys, who could never get his matches going. And he always very nonchalantly pulls out the match and snaps his fingers and lights the thing for him. And then they bring it back in such a beautiful, emotionally impactful way at the end of the film, when he's bleeding out there after he's made his confession, and Keys knows what he's done, and he's just sitting there and he's just man, I just got to have one more cigarette, and he can't do it. He can't do the thing. And Keys takes the match from him and boom, does the snap thing for him, for his old friend, after he's been heartbroken because this bastard betrayed him. It's just, that is just a wonderful setup.
Yeah.
And an emotional payoff that you didn't know you needed, but when he does that, it's just my God, 5 stars.
How you doing, Walter?
Fine. Somebody moved the elevator a couple of miles away.
They're on the way.
You know why you couldn't figure this one, Keys? I'll tell you. Because the guy you were looking for was too close. Right across the desk from you.
Closer than that, Walter.
I love you, too.
No, I feel like the true romance or like real honest relationship in this film is between Walter and Keys.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, the whole confessional narration is Walter's confession to Keys.
Yeah.
He's the only person that Walter really can't lie to, and the only one that he genuinely respects, the only one he thinks about when everything is falling apart. And yeah, the love between them is really the emotional spine of the film. Because Walter and Phyllis, you know, we see their relationship as a farce. It's kind of, I feel like it's almost a distraction from the real love between Walter and Keys.
Yeah, and it's almost like, well, does Neff actually love this woman, or is he in it to see if he can cheat this game? Exactly.
Like, I feel like, you know, we see that from the get-go in the little ways that he kind of treats her versus Keys. Like, for example, the way he constantly calls Phyllis baby.
Yeah.
Baby. And it's like, I don't know. Some couples would consider that a term of endearment, but the way that he uses it with her, it sounds very like dismissive to me. Like he's just like, "Shut up, baby. We'll take care of this."
Or just distant. Like it's like, yeah.
That too. Yeah. He's just like brushing her off.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, putting that wall between them. And then on the other hand, like the way he never fails to light Walter's cigars, it just feels very attentive.
Yeah.
And caring, and it feels like admiration. Like it's kind of like a father-son dynamic, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that, like you said, that final scene is it hits you like a gut punch. It's
There were 2 alternate endings to this film, which is crazy to think because it's one of the all-time great endings.
Yeah.
One of the endings was not shot; it was written. And it was Walter Neff kind of like professing his love to Keys in a much more elongated, like black and white way. But I think the subtlety in which he does it in this one, in which they express their love for each other at the end of this, I think is just, it has so much more finesse and it's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
The other ending, which was shot, apparently, was Walter Neff getting the electric chair and Keys watching it.
A little on the nose.
A bit on the nose. And I think Wilder always knew that he was going to take it out, but I think he shot it for the studio that, you know, was hell bent on the fact that the audience needed to know that this piece of garbage would like get his comeuppance and like he must pay for the crimes he committed, you know. As always, the studios rarely have respect for the audience. Now they have even less respect for the audience than they did back then, but
yeah.
My God, I went on an absolute tirade about the studios and the studio system in its current state the other night. I mean, I was fucking on one. If anybody recorded that, my career's over.
You're so that's hilarious. Hey, sometimes you got to get it out, you know? I get it.
Anyways.
The silence. Like, It was bad.
But yeah, McMurray, I mean, the zingers in this one are just as good as Bogart. Some of them funnier.
Yeah. Even like sexier. I mean, that back and forth in their first meeting.
Yeah.
Wish you'd tell me what's engraved on that anklet.
Just my name.
As for instance?
Phyllis.
Phyllis, huh? I think I like that.
But you're not sure.
I'd have to drive it around the block a couple of times.
Mr. Neff, why don't you drop by tomorrow evening around 8:30? He'll be in then.
Who?
My husband. You were anxious to talk to him, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, but I'm sort of getting over the idea, if you know what I mean.
There's a speed limit in this state, Mr. Neff. 45 miles an hour.
How fast was I going, officer?
I'd say around 90.
Suppose you get down off your motorcycle and give me a ticket.
Suppose I let you off with a warning this time.
Suppose it doesn't take.
Suppose I have to whack you over the knuckles.
Suppose I bust out crying and put my head in your shoulder.
Suppose you try putting it on my husband's shoulder.
That tears it. $8:30 tomorrow evening, then.
That's what I suggested.
Will you be here, too?
I guess so. I usually am.
Same chair, same perfume, same anklet?
I wonder if I know what you mean.
I wonder if you wonder.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, I was living for that. I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it's all about. And that's just one little scene.
Yeah. There's other fun things that I like in this movie that are just like, okay, what a time to be living in. He's like, I stopped at a drive-in for a bottle of beer. It's like, this man's stopping at a drive-in. They literally show him drinking a gigantic beer in his car. Like,
bring it back.
That was a different time. That was a different time, boy.
That's so true. I forgot about that. He's like, the ice cold beer. I didn't know I needed it this bad.
Yeah. But yeah, just tremendously shot. This one has all of the visual stuff that would become synonymous with noir, more so than the Maltese Falcon, because the Maltese Falcon was kind of like the first. This one has like basically every scene has that blinds shadow effect on the wall, like in 80% of the scenes of this film.
Oh yeah,
but it works. Never gets old. It always looks cool.
Oh yeah, there's this one shot I loved with the Venetian blinds, I think is what they're called. And it has one shot. There's, like you said, there's so many. But one of them that I loved was when Walter is standing over Keys and he's laying on the couch in his office and he's like, I've got it figured out. And while he's standing over Keys, the Venetian blinds are casting light on Walter's shadow on the wall above him. Yeah. And it almost looks like a skeleton or a rib cage on him. And I was like, oh, that looks so cool, because it kind of looks like dead man walking. Like this guy's got it figured out, and kind of calls back to that great line he has when he goes on a walk after the murder, and he says, I couldn't hear my own footsteps. It was the walk of a dead man.
Yeah.
And just like that paranoia. Oh, it's amazing.
The paranoia will destroy you. And it will.
Oh yeah,
it is what destroys Walter Neff here. Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is this: like, if you are a resident of Los Angeles or a fan of Los Angeles history, there is so many cool time capsules of the city in this film. Like, you get old Hollywood Bowl in this film, the old apartment complexes. Spanish style LA apartment complexes that they don't build anymore. Now they just build boxes. I don't want to go on another rant, but
we'll save that for the next episode.
But these apartment complexes are still up and standing. So the addresses, you can find them on the internets. If you are a huge fan of Double Indemnity, you can do a little Double Indemnity tour and visit some of the locations that they used to shoot this film. That's
awesome. I'd love to do that. Before we wrap up on this one, I do want to shout out Barbara Stanwyck's performance as Phyllis, because I think she's like such a perfect femme fatale in that, and also kind of unique in a way of that he recognizes that in her, or sees that in her from the get-go.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're bad. You're rotten. You're dangerous.
Right.
Which another reason I love this film. But as the film goes on, even though you already start at that point, I think she gets more and more terrifying throughout the film.
Oh yeah.
And it's a really, really excellent evolution. And there's just, there's that scene when Walter and Phyllis get her husband to sign the accident policy, and they walk outside to discuss their next steps of the plan. And there's just this really creepy, completely unhinged, like evil glimmer in her eye when she's talking about the murder.
Yeah.
And then later in the film, Lola, her husband's daughter, is talking about having seen that same murderous look in Phyllis' eyes the night that her mom suddenly died.
Right.
And I loved that callback because, in that moment I was like, oh, I already knew that I'd seen that look before.
Yep.
And I think it just made her even more terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So fantastic performance. Loved it. Great character.
Yeah, it's a great character. And a great performance to be able to pull your eyes away from that awful, awful wig.
Yeah, that too. It has like a big dent in the back the whole time. Like it hasn't even been put on a model. It's just been like crumpled on the floor between takes.
Billy Wilder tried to like create a reason after the fact. He tried to make an excuse as like, oh yeah, well clearly it's a wig, and this dame is as phony as they come, so of course she'd be wearing a wig. But
he said, yeah, obviously it's a wig.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, people who worked on the movie were like, oh, the wig is really bad, and he hated it, but he realized it was so bad just like after they'd already shot too many scenes, and he's like, fuck, we can't go back. Can't redo it. So
and that's it.
We're sticking to it.
Amazing.
Double Indemnity from 1944. Where we watched it, who knows? Who cares? But check it out. It's streaming somewhere. And that, my friend, is going to take us to a break. During that break, you are going to hear from LADFF director, Gimme Three producer, and my wife, Sonja Mereu, for a segment that we call Sonja's Movie Minute. So stick around for that and our final noir film right here on the Gimme Three podcast.
Hello, I'm Sonja, and this is my Movie Minute. Last week, I had the privilege of attending a packed screening of Park Chan-wook's new film, No Other Choice. The film was followed by a conversation with director Park and the lead actor Lee Byung-hun. From the opening moments to the final image during the credits, I was all in on this movie. It's so funny, so sharp, and so unflinching in every choice that you really have no other choice than to go on the ride and be both delighted and horrified. Without giving away too much, No Other Choice is the story of a middle-aged man who's been rising the ranks in the paper-making industry when he and several colleagues are unceremoniously laid off. He quickly starts unraveling, not just from the economic strain of being unemployed, but from the loss of identity and status that he had previously derived from his work. Like other great films this year, No Other Choice tells a story about a specific individual that is so biting and precise in its perception of modernity that it feels universal. I've watched so many coworkers get laid off in the last 3 years, and I always feel like I'm on the knife's edge, eking out another stay of execution. So watching Mansu's experience did not feel too far-fetched. And it makes us all ask, if put in the same position, what choices would we make? And are his really as extreme as they may initially seem? The film is in theaters now, and I implore you all to go watch it. Really, you have no other choice.
It's the Gimme Three podcast, everybody, and we are talking Noir November. Film Noir. Before the break, we discussed the Maltese Falcon and, of course, Double Indemnity. And now Bella's going to bring us home with another fantastic film noir picture.
1951. Apparently the film that saved or revived Alfred Hitchcock's career. He was firing on all cylinders in the 40s with Shadow of a Doubt, Notorious, Rope, an Academy Award Best Picture winner, Rebecca. But even after all those bangers, 2 back-to-back box office flops, Under Capricorn and Stage Fright, were just enough to put his career in jeopardy. Fortunately, the newest Patricia Highsmith book, one of the greatest psychological thriller novelists of all time, fell right into his lap, and within a day of reading it, he had bought the rights to Strangers on a Train. All he needed was a big-name screenwriter. Hitchcock turned to Raymond Chandler of Double Indemnity and many other hits. Shocker, these two clashed like a motherfucker.
I don't think Hitchcock didn't clash with anybody.
Yeah, right? It's like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
The beef was too big to be squashed, and Chandler was out, and Chenzi Armand was brought in. She was a screenwriter and Ben Hecht's assistant, recommended by him after he was initially approached for the job. Armand took Chandler's script and transformed it into the incredible film that we have today. Of course, as is the trend of women in the industry getting the short end of the stick, especially at this time, she did not receive the main screenwriting credit, which was still given to Chandler. The film follows tennis star Guy Haines, played by Farley Granger, who crosses paths with charming but truly unhinged socialite Bruno Anthony, played by Robert Walker. As they get talking, Bruno learns that Guy is heading home to divorce his wife so he can marry his new love, Anne Morton, a senator's daughter no less. Bruno jumps at the opportunity to pitch what he calls the perfect murder plan, a crisscross. Sorry. The perfect murder plan, a crisscross. If they swap murders, Bruno kills Guy's wife and Guy kills Bruno's father, whom he despises, well, with no motive linking either man to the other's victim, Bruno insists that, they'll have the perfect alibi.
Want to hear one of my ideas for a perfect murder? You want to hear the busted light socket in the bathroom or the carbon monoxide in the garage?
Neither one. I may be old-fashioned, but I thought murder was against the law.
What is a life for two guys? Some people are better off dead. Like your wife and my father, for instance. Oh, that reminds me of a wonderful idea I had once. I used to put myself to sleep at night, figuring it out. Now, let's say that you'd like to get rid of your wife.
It's a morbid thought.
No. Just suppose. Let's say that you had a very good reason.
No, let's
Let's say. Now, you'd be afraid to kill her. You know why? You'd get caught. And what would trip you up? The motive. Now, here's my idea.
I'm afraid I haven't got time to listen, Bruno.
Listen, it's so simple, too. Two fellows meet accidentally, like you and me. No connection between them at all. Never saw each other before. Each one has somebody that he'd like to get rid of. So, they swap murders.
Swap murders?
Each fellow does the other fellow's murder. Then there's nothing to connect them. Each one has murdered a total stranger. Like, you do my murder, I do yours.
We're coming into my station.
For example, your wife, my father. Crisscross. What? Oh, we do talk the same language, don't we?
Well, sure, Bruno. We talk the same language. Thanks for the lunch.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought the lamb chops were a little overdone myself.
Nice meeting you.
Now, you think my theory's okay, Guy? You like it?
Sure, Bruno. Sure. They're all okay.
Guy, of course, laughs it off and leaves immediately, assuming Bruno is joking. That is until Bruno actually goes through with his half of the plan. From there, Bruno tightens the screws, pulling Guy into a spiraling game of manipulation, guilt, and mounting danger, all building toward one of Hitchcock's most suspenseful finales. It's a fantastic film. We have Robert Bucks, who took home the Oscar for cinematography. This was his first collaboration with Alfred Hitchcock, and he went on to be a longtime collaborator of his, bringing us all the incredible visuals from the 50s and 60s era of Hitchcock with Vertigo, which we talked about on the podcast last week, Rear Window, North by Northwest, all the big hits of that era. But yeah, it's it's such a wonderful film. I'm really excited to talk about it. Nick, what were your thoughts on Strangers on a Train?
Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's very juicy. I've never done like a Hitchcock month, like watched a whole bunch of his movies back to back to back, but having like last week we discussed Vertigo. And it's just fun to see the range that he has,
Yes.
This is about as far away from Vertigo as you can get visually and tonally. Like obviously they're both psychological thrillers, but that one is so serious, and ethereal, and this one kind of plays out like a pulp novel, and it just like at times it flirts with kind of like slapstick comedy. There's very well produced action sequences. It's serious, but it's very tongue-in-cheek and like elbow nudging, but still stylish as hell. So it's just like two very different films, and they didn't come out all that far apart. It was like 5-6 years apart.
Right.
Anyways, having just watched Vertigo last week, it was an especially fun revisit. I love it. I think some of his best work is in this movie, like the sequence of Bruno tailing and following the wife during that first amusement park sequence is so creepy and like sinister, and she's like kind of leading him on at first. It seems like it's like, is she scared? Is she pulling him in? Like there's so much interesting visual storytelling and nonverbal performance going on, and it culminates with one of the coolest shots in the film and of Hitchcock's career, where he ends up strangling her, but it's shown through the reflection of her glasses as her glasses have fallen on the ground. And it's a shot that's so mind-blowingly awesome and inventive that even if you saw it, no matter what era of cinema you see, you're just like, my God, look at that shot. I've never seen that before. Like it feels fresh now, whatever, 60, 70 years after it was shot. So
yeah, I can see why the cinematography took home the Oscar that year. It's I completely agree with that. That shot, as soon as that shot happened, I was like, oh, here we go. This is a banger. I also there's this crazy, I guess this is kind of a spoiler, but well,
it's about 70 years old, so fuck. Who gives a fuck?
But the finale, the culminating, the big climax of the film, I guess, is this insane carousel out of control. Carousel gone wild.
Yeah.
And we're at the carnival again, and they're chasing the police are there chasing Guy, and he's chasing Bruno, and it's this whole big cat and mouse chase, but everyone gets involved because all of a sudden the carousel is out of control. It's spinning 1,000,000 miles per hour. Guy and Bruno are on the carousel beating the shit out of each other. And there's like a little kid there too who starts hitting Bruno in the head. I love that scene. Guy has to then save the kid from Bruno. I mean, it's just so many things happening all at once. And there's this great shot, kind of wide shot, that was crafted using a toy carousel, and they photographed it getting blown up, basically. But I can't lie, it looks real in a way. Obviously it's old, but the way they did is they shot that and then they projected it onto a big screen and put actors around it, so it looked like these plastic horses and passengers were hurling towards them. But I think that's another example of filmmaking from 60 years ago that you see it now and you're just like, whoa, that looks insane.
No, it's an impressive finale. It goes off with a bang for show.
Yeah, it goes off with a bang, and then just the lead up to that, yeah, the way there's such a great visual language or visual storytelling in this, that I think also is just signature Hitchcock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Hitchcock that we know and love. Another one of my favorite scenes is when Bruno reveals to Guy that he has killed his wife. It's right outside of his wife's home, and Guy sees the police coming up to his door to talk to him because they found her body. And he's been talking to Bruno through this gate in the dark alley. And when he sees the police, he moves around the gate to Bruno's side. It looks like they're behind bars. And he says, "You've got me acting like a criminal."
What are you doing here at this time of night?
Well, you don't seem very pleased to see me. I brought you a little present.
What do you mean? Oh, what's this all about?
Recognize them? It was very quick, Guy. She wasn't hurt in any way. It was all over in no time. I knew you'd be surprised. And Guy, there's nothing for us to worry about. Nobody saw me. Only Miriam. And I was very careful, Guy. Even when I dropped your cigarette lighter there, I went back to pick it up.
Are you trying to tell me? Why, you maniac!
But, Guy, you wanted it. We planned it on the train together, remember? Where are you going?
Where do you think I'm going? I'm gonna call the police, of course.
But you can't, Guy. We'd both be arrested for murder.
We'd both be arrested for murder.
You're just as much in it as I am. We planned it together. Crisscross.
Are you crazy fool? Do you think you can get away with that?
Oh, come now, Guy. Why should I go to Metcalf to kill a total stranger? Unless it was part of the plan and you were in on it. You're the one who benefits, Guy. You're a free man now. I didn't even know the girl.
I had nothing to do with this. The police will believe me.
Guy, if you go to the police now, you'll just be turning yourself in as an accessory. You see, you have the motive. What is it?
My telephone.
Someone has some news for you, Guy.
But yeah, that Bruno's one of my favorite shots is what's his name? Not the guy who's Bruno, but the other guy. Guy. Yeah, that's why I forgot his name. Guy is also a very accomplished tennis player. He's like a semi-pro tennis player. So he's at a tennis match and he sits down on the bench because his match is going to be next. And there's this great shot of Guy's POV as he's like looking at the audience, and everybody is doing the thing that everybody does at tennis matches where their heads go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth as they follow the ball. But one person's head is not doing that, and it punches into that person's head, and it's Bruno, and Bruno's just staring directly at him. It's like, man, what a shot. What a great way to like pinpoint this character out of a large crowd. Challengers, eat your heart out.
I was going to say, yeah, that was quite the Challengers moment. But Strangers on a Train did it first.
And better. And there's like a fantastic tennis match sequence later in the film that is also completely thrilling and unnerving, and like a race against the clock. It is antithesis of Challengers, where Challengers milked one tennis match for an entire film, and this is like, we got to get this match done as quick as possible so we can get the hell out of town.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah, this was one of the movies that, you know, like, so Hitchcock famously did not like to shoot on location. He really despised it. He preferred to shoot in the studio and, you know, in the comforts of this and that. He's fat, you know, he's fat and he's fucking old and sweaty. So why would he want to shoot on location?
He likes to be comfortable. That's okay.
Yeah,
me too.
He's a dick. He's a control freak, and you can't control everything when you're on location.
Right.
So, anyways, he had to step out of his comfort zone a lot with this film because so much of the film is shot on location, and I think it's one of his more thrilling films because of that.
Yeah, really outside his comfort zone. I mean, we're all over the place in this movie. It's very grand in that sense.
Yeah.
This movie is definitely has some style, has some film noir styles and themes, but I think it also set the stage for some of his more horror films. In the future, in like the late 50s and early 60s. Like, for example, that scene when Bruno crashes the big fancy senator dinner party and he starts talking to these two women about murder.
Yeah.
Casually. And
it's like, who invited this fucking guy?
Yeah, they keep being like, why is he here?
Yeah.
Somehow ends up, demonstrating the perfect murder, which is the one he's just committed, strangling a guy's wife. And he's got his hands around this woman's throat. And then he sees Barb, Anne Morton, Guy's current love, her little sister, who wears glasses just like wears glasses just like Guy's wife. And it kind of triggers him back to that moment. And he starts slowly but surely squeezing the life out of this poor woman. And that moment is like the acting and the way that it's captured.
Yeah.
With the camera on Barb's glasses and his face. It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
That falls into horror for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of like horror psycho-esque shots in this. Like there's another one where they're just driving through DC or like a guy's in DC with a friend of his, and then he like in the distance sees Bruno. They end up getting in a cab, and there's a shot like from inside the cab over Guy's shoulder as you just see Bruno standing like on the steps of, I think it's the Lincoln Memorial. Yeah, he's just like standing alone on these empty Lincoln Memorial steps, like staring at him. It's just like, good God, that's creepy.
So creepy. Yeah, the way he's kind of just lurking in the background throughout the whole film and, just waiting to tear apart Guy's life at any moment, at any time, any given moment in time is... it's just that it's a constant feeling. It's a constant tension.
Yeah. I've got here 3 Letterboxd reviews for Strangers on a Train.
Oh, awesome.
www.letterboxd.com. 1 star. 2 stars. 3 stars. 4 stars. 5 stars.
Okay, Time Cop gives the film 5 stars. And he writes, or she writes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Tim Cop, not Time Cop. So that probably is a he. Tim Cop writes, Barbara is the equivalent of whatever a murderer podcast nerd was at that time. Because she is like always getting like horned up about the details of this murder. She's like, oh, they're probably going to question you about this, and they'll question you about this, and you better have an alibi for this. And this is she's like a freakazoid for all this crime stuff. It's like, my God, girl, calm down. Her dad has one great line that's just one doesn't always have to say what one thinks. Like, oh, geez, I'm using that.
Oh, it's so great. Yeah, I love how she's so chill about it. She's like, well, now you guys can get together. Isn't that great?
Right.
Like the night he's found out his wife has been killed.
Right. She's like disappointed that he didn't kill her. She's like, oh man, I thought it would have been so romantic if you killed for love, It's It's like, man, for that Barbara.
So good.
That's a sequel I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sydney also gives the film 5 stars and a heart. And she writes, fellas, is it gay to murder the wife of a man you just met on a train?
Oh, Bruno.
And then finally, we've got Aaron, who gives the film 4 stars and a heart. And writes, leave it to Uncle Hitch to take something as unassuming and innocent as a merry-go-round and turn it into a nightmarish death trap from hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to the first time they're on that merry-go-round and he's like, gets on the horse right behind Guy's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like looking back at him and he's looking at her and it's just like, my God, I'm never going on a merry-go-round again.
Yeah, they're officially creepy after watching this movie. And dangerous. My God.
Well, that was the other thing, was the shot of the guy, the old the old man. They're like, my God. So what happens? The cops shoot at Guy as he's getting on the merry-go-round, and it misses because, the merry-go-round is spinning round and round. So the stupid-ass cop, he ends up...
An ambitious shot.
He nails the conductor of the merry-go-round, and it goes into hyperspeed, And so as the whole chaos that Bella described earlier is happening on the merry-go-round, the cops are like, my God, somebody's got to stop that thing. And this is what I'm talking about with like the slapstick. The film never takes itself too seriously. This old fucker comes through the crowd and goes, "I'll stop it." And he gets on his hands and knees and does like a bear crawl underneath the merry-go-round to get to the other side in the conductor's spot where he can stop it. But he's crawling underneath this thing, and apparently that was not like trick photography or some...
No.
That was a real dude underneath a merry-go-round that was spinning, and Hitchcock said it was the most dangerous thing he's ever done in a film, and he would never do anything like it again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like...
Apparently it was a real... it was like a carousel operator as well.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't an actor or anything like that. Basically, that whole scene was real.
Yeah, exactly.
He said, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Put me in the movie.
You gotta respect the
nail-biting scene.
The carny lust for excitement.
The carny lust for life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, check it out. Strangers on a Train. Rent it on demand. Check your local video store. And that's a wrap. That's a wrap on our Noir November. 3 phenomenal film noirs. Started with Humphrey Bogart defining the noir protagonist in The Maltese Falcon, to the rotten, to the core, murderous love affair of Double Indemnity, ending with the rebirth of another fantastic Hitchcock era, Strangers on a Train. Please, you guys, let us know what your other favorite film noirs from this era are. Maybe even throw in some neo-noir recs that, maybe we'll do a neo-noir episode soon. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You guys can send us a text with the link in the episode description below, or you can drop a comment on our Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram at Gimme Three Podcast. That's GIMME, spell out 3 podcast. Also, while we have you, a few quick ways to support the show. Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Setting our episodes to auto-download. If you like to go the extra mile, you could subscribe to our Patreon for just $5 a month. Get some bonus content and, help support the show. Nick, do you want to tell the lovely listeners where to find you on the socials?
You can find me on Letterboxd, on Instagram, or on Blue Sky at... Fuck's my name? Nicholas Ibarra. Ibarra is spelled with a Y.
And you guys can find me on Instagram at Portrait of a Cinephile or on Letterboxd at BF Stratus. Thanks again for joining us on the Gimme Three podcast, and we'll see you at the movies.